Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chicago Trader checking in for the weekly fundamental video here on the 13th of September. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Had a few names, as usual, one to run over, and then the main one I'm going to cover is Take Two, TTOO is the ticker at the end, so a little bit more of a deep dive. Just kind of want to share my thoughts on it. Um, Before I get started, as usual, guys, you know the deal. This isn't investment advice on my behalf or MIC's behalf, so be sure to do your own due diligence. I'll cover Take Two last. First one I wanted to cover was Cool. It moved on some news this week. Let me pull up these 8Ks. I'm missing the one that I wanted to bring up. Bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. First thing, so I noticed they're a little bit low on cash. However, they do have a SPA. So what that is, securities purchase agreement. They essentially have the right, they agree to an amount that, somebody can purchase from them, and they will put it into their account. So it's $1 million convertible note. You can see the conversion price. It's $1.80, or it's going to be 90% after 6 months. Also, if you guys remember the video I did on REKR, I think that they had debt at 24% as well. So I now have seen two that have, basically loaned out convertible debt that have done 24%. Obviously, less than favorable terms. And then there's another 8K shortly after that. I believe this is the same one. That they're going to extend the maturity date, and why wouldn't you if you hold that debt? You're obviously getting paid fat stacks on it if you're going to. Not favorable for the company, but again, just something that kind of tells you the health of the company. Next one, everyone's favorite, Top Ships came out with an offering this week. Just wanted to cover it. So they had the F1. You can see they get the effect out. The same day they did the offering. But this one did a reverse split, had been moving a little bit. It had about 1.5 million shares outstanding after the split. So, if you come down here to the offering, it gives you the details. So there's actually 426,000 shares of common at $6.30. And, usually, like I've mentioned in the last few videos, these pre-funded warrants usually are a dagger. And then you come down here, and this one's actually pretty transparent for once. So there's going to be, the common shares outstanding. So again, that's just the 1.5 that's outstanding plus the 426,000. So they're actually nice and do the calculation. So there's going to be 4.7 million if the pre-funded warrants are exercised, and 5.2 if the underwriters, exercise the over allotment. And so you go from 1.5 to potentially 5.2 million shares. It's just absolutely terrible. But obviously, you guys know Top Ships. Nothing to put your money into it long term. Another one that was, quickly caught my attention was Yuma. They announced somebody was going to be buying their debt. News seemed to read well, but basically they were just going to turn back around and lend them the money anyways. So I couldn't quite figure out, but my theory is, so somebody comes in and buys this $32 million of debt. If you come back here a few days before, they just announced that they don't excuse me, they don't meet the $2.4 million as of July 1st. It has to be a minimum of $4 million for their stockholders' equity. So if stockholders' equity is total assets minus total liabilities, and you take off $2 million from your liabilities, that definitely helps. So they don't have to do an offering. It's too small to really do much of an offering, public offering, unless they do a PIPE. But you can see here, this debt's going to be wiped off, and the stockholders' equity should be, much higher. So the last one, the main one that I caught, definitely thought it was gonna, the news was weak. Had a nice run up before. So personally, I played this day one. I was completely wrong on it. Thank God I did get out of it when I did. So Take Two came out. They had some news on an agreement. Let me pull these up here real quick. Basically with this BARDA, and like I said, it read well. Up to $69 million in funding. Usually on those, things like that, when it says up to, you kind of want to be, at least I am, kind of weary about what that means. It's not a guaranteed. Also, the second paragraph below here, you can see there's a cost sharing contract between them. So obviously, even if there is a little bit of money up front, so it looks like there's going to be $6 million up front, until there's further details on the deal, that might just basically offset the $6 million that they're receiving. Um, so then, I believe it was the same day. Yeah, same day. It came out. There was an amendment. Basically, what was happening was they have some debt, this term loan agreement, and they're reducing the revenue target that has to be met, slashing it, over 50% from 9 million to 4 million. So kind of, gives a negative outlook for, the company. Also, why would a lender do that? Well, then they get 568,000 shares, warrants rather, at $1.55. So, you take that. I kind of thought that news was weak. You come back here, they, very recently, within the last month and a half, entered into a at the money offering of up to $30 million. Again, they're not super low on cash, especially if they get that $6 million up front. But it's something that was bouncing. Yeah, I think its low was like 80 cents. The thing opened up around, if I remember, 2. It pulled, it didn't break down, and then it went up to 3.30 the next day. So was definitely glad to get out of it. But it's just one of those things from my experience. It's the fundamental story is one thing, but the price action and the thing should have broken down, in my opinion. It didn't. So that one was a little interesting. Still going to keep it on watch for the rest of the week. Still having a nice move and holding up, but it's a little bit larger of a company too, which I usually like those plays a lot more as well. I think the float's around 30 million last time I checked. So definitely going to keep this up. See if they keep this intact. I'm going to check, when the next 10Q comes out to see if they use any of the ATM or not. As I mentioned in the last videos, sometimes they file these ATMs and rarely use them, and we'll just do a direct offering of 2 or 3 million shares at a set price or whatever it is. So we'll keep that on the back burner. But hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, if there's any names, any topics you want me to cover, I'd be glad to do so, guys. So have a nice weekend. We'll see you in chat on Monday.